Hey, everybody, welcome to The Blacklist, the show where we interview the elite. Today on my right, we have Jen, who's amazing. We're going to dive into her story, what she does, all that good stuff. But for people that, are just kind of listening in, they probably have never seen you before, right? Who is Jen and what do you do?
Yes, thank you. I'm a certified money coach. I'm a money mindset coach for creatives and entrepreneurs to
Yeah.
help them get rid of those money blocks, get out of their own way so that they can make the money they deserve and ultimately live the life that they want.
Yeah. I love this type of discussion because I think it's not done enough, especially. And I think people have this stigma of like, I don't want to necessarily talk about finances because, they might not feel very confident about it or anything like that. How do you kind of help people with that? Because they might not be able to like open up as freely. How do you get them to open up about their real situation so you can help them out?
Sometimes I think people just need to hear other people's experiences.
Yeah.
And then when they finally develop that awareness, or they get to a point where they realize, I can't do this anymore. I got to do something about my situation. Sometimes it's just one of those moments where they hit rock bottom and maybe not so rock bottom.
Right.
And then they realize, okay, I need help. And sometimes that can take time. And sometimes that could be this, awareness and awakening of, I'm not doing what I need to be doing. Or sometimes it's just, I'm already old. I haven't done anything. What do I need to do now? And they want to make a better life. They know that they need to take action. It's time.
And when they do take action and they work with you, what are some of the things that you notice like right away from like the majority of people?
Right off the bat, I would say not being organized.
Yeah.
It's so simple, right? We get so busy, we get caught up in life. Oh, I'll get to it. Oh, I get to it.
Yeah.
I know I need to do it, and then it doesn't get done. And so people tend to come to me and they're not organized. Okay, a lot of people don't even know their FICO score. A
Right,
lot of
right.
people don't even know what's in their bank accounts. They don't even know what they owe on balances, loans, investments, or they're not even doing it at all.
Yeah.
There's no awareness, there's no organization, and then they get caught up in life and they're busy. So it's going month to month to month, just okay, I made it to the end of the month, but there's no plan.
Yeah.
Everything's just all over the place.
Yeah. And so one of the first things that you'll do then is you'll kind of like identify everything that they do have and just kind of like look at it from like a 30,000 foot view and then determine like, okay, well, this needs to happen, or how does that work?
Exactly, partially that. It's getting the assessment. It's
Yeah.
where are we right now? We're filming this, and I flew in from Las Vegas. I mean, from Los Angeles. Let me start. I flew in from Los Angeles, and you plan those things, right? You know when you buy the ticket where you're starting from, where do you want to go?
Right.
So when it comes to planning your money, your future, everything like that, it's no different. You need to know where you're starting from. So a lot of people sometimes will want to like, well, I know I need to invest, or I need to do this and I need to do that. It's like, well, where are we starting from? Because we need to know the starting point and then find out what are your goals? What is it that you want to achieve? Where is it that you want to go? And then we reverse engineer it.
Yeah, yeah. And when you reverse engineer it, is it clear as day of like what they need to do? Because sometimes where people want to go is like just unrealistic with like, what's kind of going on, at home. Or yeah, walk me through that. Like, because some people might have really big goals, but like, with their finances right now, they probably can't make it, or their income that they're generating is like, only enough for X or for Y. How do you help them kind of get through that hurdle and, onwards?
Yeah, we need to separate it. So we'll look at short-term goals,
Yeah.
which is under a year, then midterm, maybe 1 to 3 years, and then long term, 5 years and beyond. And those numbers can change.
Right.
That's just a range. And so we look at the things that are realistic and what time frame and when do we want to do this. So for example, let's say somebody, oh, I want to buy a house.
Yeah.
Okay, well, do we have a down payment? No. Okay, are you buying in LA? Okay, that might not be in a year you're going to buy this, right? So it takes time to achieve some of these milestones and these steps. So we figure out what can we do now and what is the reality of when we're trying to achieve this. So it doesn't matter what it is, but it's being realistic about when these things can be achieved. And then when we reverse engineer it and we discover what are those steps that we need to take,
Yeah.
okay, well, what are those things that you're willing to do? What can we do? Because some, like you said, there's life happening, there's other things, family, whatever. We might not be able to do all 10 action items. So we piecemeal what we can take care of today.
Yeah, I love that because you're breaking it down into small bites, small pieces that people can digest and kind of move forward with, and they feel like there's progress moving. Is there have you seen situations where you're just like unable to help because they've like dug such a big hole, or no?
I have.
Yeah.
Yes, there have been times where the debt is just so out of control and there's not enough income coming in.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's really a matter of you need to find a way to bring in more money.
Right. That's like the only answer that can that they, like that can happen, right?
Exactly. It's like we have to be realistic. What can we do? And so a lot of times the people are in a place where the debt is just out of control. And so it's unfortunate that they're in that situation because, of course, we all want to do better, right? So we want to do the other things in the whole financial plan where we're, investing, we're getting the insurance that we need, all the coverage that we're supposed to have and
Yeah.
take care of our families. But there's this looming debt. And so when it's at that point, it's really the priority is surviving, eating,
That's true.
and just finding ways to make more money at that point.
Do you help with like IRAs, insurance, and all that type of stuff, or what part of that? Because that's kind of turning into like more investments, right?
Correct.
So what do you help out with in terms of that stuff?
So I have a team that will help with that component. I used to be a financial advisor, so
Yeah.
I do have experience in that licensed part of the world of finances. So that's the background that I bring into this over 18 years. And so
Yeah.
now what I focus more on is the money mindset. So
Yeah.
this is what has happened. I would run into people that, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. And sometimes they wouldn't adhere to the plan. When we realize there are so many money blocks, which I mentioned in the beginning, there are so many subconscious patterns that haven't been addressed.
Yeah.
And when those don't get addressed, we don't understand, like, how come I can't stick to this budget? How come I'm not sticking to this plan? How come it's not happening for me? Because we're just trying to put the Band-Aid with these tactical solutions and strategies, but we're never addressing the foundational things of the mindset and the subconscious patterns.
Yeah. Yeah. And so do you help them with accountability then? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people need that in order to get to the year mark or the 2 to 3 years. Like, do you help them with accountability to kind of make sure like, hey, we're still on track?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And it's simple. It really
Yeah.
is simple when we have this awareness, but it's having the sustainability of doing these simple things day in, day out. And how are you looking at things? How are you speaking about money? What are the words that you're saying?
Yeah.
What are the things that are in your mind? And how is your relationship with money? All those things really play a huge part in how your financial decisions look like in today. And so a lot of it is looking at what are we saying? How are we acting when it comes to our money?
Yeah. And what are people saying? Like, what is their like the bad mindset that they have for the reason why they're unable to grow? What do you notice?
Well, have you heard terms like money doesn't grow on trees?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to work harder in
Yeah.
order to make more money. All these different things we grow up with, right? Or we've heard it, whether it was growing up with a father or a mother, a pastor, a teacher, priest, whoever, right? And these things go into our mind. And so we carry that throughout our childhood.
Yeah.
So by the 8 years old, 10 years old, that's already in our head. So we become adults. And so maybe we run into a situation and they're like, oh, I can't buy that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you heard your mom when you were a child at the grocery store, when you pointed to that toy in the aisle and you said, I want this.
Yeah.
She said, no, we can't afford it.
Yeah.
So now you think that you can't afford it or you don't deserve to buy things.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I mean, I had that, growing up. I think it's pretty normal. Like, like you want something, they're like, nope, you just can't, can't afford it or anything like that. So that's initially why I wanted money. Like I wanted to buy stuff that I wanted.
Exactly.
Luckily for me, like, high income, but like I also didn't know that I had to pay taxes. I also didn't know that you have to do like a ton of stuff like your credit. Like money is not just, income generated. It's a lot more than that. And, I'm fortunate enough that like I was able to learn that pretty young, but, people don't learn that till later, and that's why they get into some serious problems. What kind of age range do you work with? Like the people that you work with, like what type of age range are they in? Are they already kind of like adults and, they need help? Or are they younger, older? How does it look like?
Yeah, it typically seems to be the millennial. All
Oh,
the way,
really?
yeah, the millennial up to maybe late 40s.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I love that age. It's because you've been adulting for a while, and now you're at that point in time where you realize like I need to do better.
yeah,
What I'm doing right now is not working, and I want it to get better. I want to finally do X, Y, Z. And they're realizing if they keep going at the way that they are, it's not going to happen. And they're
yeah.
frustrated, they're overwhelmed, they're confused, they don't know who to listen to.
Right, right. Well, with that being said, what are some of the things that people can do immediately to kind of get their finances in order? I know you said organization is number one, but what else can they do to kind of just get out of that immediately? Like, yeah,
I would say one of the simple things that people can do is to just sit down, get a piece of paper, and write out all these different money beliefs.
yeah,
Maybe it's, I don't deserve this, or I can't afford this, or money doesn't grow on trees. Like, what are all these things that you've heard and that you've grown up with? And maybe you're still saying it to yourself because it starts there. We keep saying awareness, but I think sometimes when you put pen to paper and really look at all these things and then ask yourself, are you saying this to yourself?
yeah,
And how are you reacting to it? And do you embrace those things? And are you saying those things versus realizing, no, I don't need to buy into that story. I don't need to have that as my belief anymore.
yeah.
And then when you take a look at those lists of words and sentences and phrases, then you ask yourself, is that true?
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
And then you rewrite it.
Mm-hmm.
What is something that's true? So I'll give you a quick example. Let's
Okay.
say I'm not qualified enough to ask for the promotion. And then you can ask yourself, is that true? No. Okay, well, what's a new belief that we can write? I have demonstrated in other projects that I have managed, we made the company more money. I got a raise, so I can do the same thing here.
Yeah,
So you just flip it. And so it takes time because it's kind of like sometimes we might have that feeling like, I don't know if that really. So you repeat it.
yeah.
You repeat it and you just take a look. But first, build that awareness of what are those things that you're saying.
Right, right. And if somebody, they're listening to this, they're like, I need to get my act together, and they wanted to work with you, do you offer one-on-ones, group coaching, or how does that look like when somebody works with you?
Yes, absolutely. All of the above. And
Yeah.
so they can definitely schedule a time with me, have a chat, and see like, well, what's going on? What can we do to help your situation?
Okay. And where can they find you at?
Yes, you can find me at Jen Money Coach, Jen Money Coach on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and jenmoneycoach.com.
Perfect. And jenmoneycoach.com, is that where they can book a call so that way they can talk to you or your team to see if you can help out?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you being on the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.